Hi, this is Julie with Beadaholique, and in this video I'm going to teach you how to make the fish scales bracelet using DiamonDuos. And this is a bracelet that was designed by one of our designers here at Beadaholique, Kat, and I want to show you how to do it in video form. So what you're going to need to do this is you're going to need a tube of DiamonDuos. Now if you're going to use one tube, I do want to show you how long this bracelet will be because this uses almost an entire tube. So it will be about 7 inches, just a little shy of that. So on my wrist, that's okay. I do have a really small wrist though. So if you need a bracelet that's a little bit larger, you're gonna wanna buy a second tube. You're also going to need some seed beads. We've just got pretty 11O gold seed beads, a tube clasp, some thread. I've got FireLine in smoke, a needle, and a pair of scissors. And that's all you're gonna need. Now I like doing variations of bracelets where I just change out the main focal bead. So I'm going to be using this pretty purple, but I'm going to keep the gold beads and also the gold tube clasp, just like you see here in the example. So I'm going to just line this up with some of the other colors of Super Duos available and show you that all you really need sometimes is to just switch out that focal bead. So lots of different pretty colors to choose from. So let's go ahead and begin. So I'm separating out my clasp to begin with, and I've already placed a stopper bead on the end of my thread, and I'm using about 6 feet of thread. That's a comfortable level for me. We're going to start by just picking up one of the DiamonDuos, and these do have 2 holes in them. And they're a very pretty Czech glass bead. So we're just going to pull our thread down until it rests on the stopper bead. Now we're going to pick up 3 of the gold seed beads and slide those guys down as well. And we're actually going to be starting by attaching our clasp, which is something that we don't normally do. So now we're going to go through the hole, and to help keep it nice and in place, I'm actually going to loop back around and through that hole again. So I've just looped around that side loop, and then I'm going to pull that all the way down to my beads. And now I'm going to pick up 3 more seed beads and go through another DiamonDuo, and then pick up 3 more seed beads and slide those guys down. And now I want to go through the second hole, or I should say the second loop. And I'm going to loop through it again. There we go. And now I'm going to pick up 3 more seed beads and another DiamonDuo. So we have attached 1/2 of our clasp, and we have done the first row of our DiamonDuos. So now we're going to go ahead and jump over to the second hole. I'll try to do this flat so it'll be a little easier to see where the thread is going. Okay, so you're just creating a thread bridge on top of that DiamonDuo. And now I'm going to pick up a seed bead and another DiamonDuo. Now, at this point, I want to make sure my DiamonDuos are going in the right direction. So I want to go down this way, and then another seed bead, and then go through this hole here. Now it can be a little wiggly to start with. So I want on these DiamonDuos, you'll notice that there is a flat side right here, which is the back, and a pointed side, which is the top. So for this particular bracelet, I want to make sure that all the pointed sides are facing upright. So now if you look at the pattern here, we're going to pick out another seed bead, another DiamonDuo, and another seed bead. And we're going to go through this guy right here. So now we've got our second row. Now we're going to pick up a seed bead, another diamond duo, and I am paying attention to where I'm picking up the diamond duos. So now we need to go ahead and start up along this way. And to do that, we're going to create another thread bridge. So we're just going to jump over to that second hole. And we're going to pick up a seed bead and a diamond duo. And it can be easier if you want to just line up these diamond duos at this point. So you see where you want to pick them up. And you can even, if you want, go ahead and put some seed beads right here and just go like this. That can be a little easier too. Getting ahead of myself. So you're staggering the diamond duos. So you're connecting each new one basically to an old one via that little seed bead. All right, so we've just exited right here. Now you could, in theory, just go ahead and make another thread bridge over and go down and go back and forth. And that would work. Your bracelet's gonna look a little different from the example that Kat made, because if you notice what Kat did here, she has 3 diamond duos, and then she's got 4, 3, 4, so it makes it wider, and it also makes it go up, down, up, down, up, down. So we're going to recreate what she did. So to get that look, what you're going to do right here is you need another diamond duo up top. And to add that, you're going to add a seed bead, add the diamond duo, and slide that down. And now you're going to jump over the diamond duo right here. So you have a little thread bridge on top. And I am using smoke thread here. You could, for this color palette, really get away with crystal. I just knew that it wasn't going to show up in video form, so I chose to use a darker color. So now I'm adding another seed bead and sliding it down. Again, I'll try to do this on the table as much as possible so it's a little easier to see. And so I'm going to go back through this super duo, the seed bead next to it, and the diamond duo. So I'm going to go back through this diamond duo, the seed bead next to it, and the diamond duo below it, and pull. So now we've got that 3 diamond duos, 4, and 3. So to get back over here, which is where we want to be, we're just going to jump over. And when I say jump over, I just mean go to the second hole. And we're working our thread and needle back to here. Now we're going to do a thread bridge again. And now we're ready to add our next segment, our next row. So we've got a seed bead, diamond duo, seed bead, and then we're going to do the same thing again. Seed bead, diamond duo, seed bead. You see this is a lot less wobbly at this point. So now we're going to do another seed bead and another diamond duo, and I am noting where I'm picking up the diamond duos. So I make sure I've got that nice pointed side up top. Okay, so now we just want to jump over. And now we need to add a seed bead, diamond duo, seed bead, and go up. and then a seed bead, diamond duo, seed bead, okay, and then a seed bead, diamond duo. And let me show you what you got at this point. So if you'll note, we need to add another fourth one right up here again. So we're going to do the same thing we did back here. We're going to add that seed bead and a diamond duo. Pull that down. Now we need to go over the top of it. And then connect it to the other diamond duo that's there waiting just via a seed bead. And now we need to again work our thread back to this point here. And to do that, we will just go through that seed bead, through the diamond duo, and work our needle over to here. So just creating that thread bridge on the underside of the diamond duo. Okay, jump over. And you're ready to go on to the next row. So you're just going to continue doing this until you have the length you want, and then you're going to attach the other half of your clasp. I'm just going to continue beading, and when I get to that point where it comes time to attach the clasp, I'll come back on here and show you how to do that and finish up your bracelet. So we finished our last row, and you can see that we've got all these pretty diamond duos. So we did the turnaround right here, and now we're exiting this bead just as if we're going to go down and start a new row. But instead of picking up a seed bead and another diamond duo, we're going to pick up 3 seed beads. And we're now going to attach our clasp. And before you actually string it on, look at the position of the other half of your clasp and make sure that you're attaching the second part in a way that it's going to go ahead and close and fit together. So you wouldn't want to attach both of them like this, because then when you put your bracelet around, you're going to be stuck. So make sure it's properly oriented. And now you're going to go ahead, go through that loop. And I like to loop around it. Just make sure that little loop stays on the right side, and then pull it down. We're going to add 3 more seed beads. Go through the diamond duo next to it and pull. Add 3 more seed beads. Pull those guys down. Go through the second loop. And go through it again. And I'm making that little repeat loop through the loop just to add a little bit of extra security and to help with my tension with these seed beads. It just helps them to stay where I want them to stay. Now we're just going to go through that last end diamond duo and pull. And at this point, tug on your thread a little bit. Make sure that's pulled nice and tight. So now we're going to go back up through our beadwork. And we're going to start to tie some discreet little knots to secure our beading. And I have some extra thread here. So to make my life a little bit easier, I'm going to trim off some of it at this point, because I'm not going to need all of it. And I'm just retracing my thread path. And I'm trying to tie my knots between the DiamonDuos and the seed beads, not on the thread bridges, because they'd be a lot more apparent if I tied them up there. Here they can hide within the seed beads. So that was 3 knots. That feels really nice and secure, and now I'm just going to trim my tail. And so you'd go back and you remove your bead stopper. I'll show you how to remove it, but I'm not going to show you how to weave this one in because it's the exact same process we just did. But when you want to remove your bead stopper, you just grab it and you just pull it off, and that's all there is to it. And then you'd rethread your needle and weave in your tail and tie some little discreet knots. And that is how you make the fish scales bracelet using DiamonDuo seed beads. One last thing is I want to show you how this looks closed, because it's a really pretty tapered effect. And I can also show it to you on so you can see what it would look like if you're wearing it. You can find all the supplies for this project, as well as many others featuring 2-hole beads, at Beadaholique.com.